And welcome back. We have with us, starting off the conversation with talking about the UReport, Your Voice Matter. And we have with us this morning Melissa Rivero, who's the UReport consultant, and Abby Gomez, or resident youth expert, who is representing the Youth Information Teen Reporter and a UB student. And we also have the CEO, Kerry Belize, of the Ministry of Labor, Local Government, and Rural Development. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Now, could you tell us what the UReport is? Let's start off from that. Let's lay our foundation.
Okay. First and foremost, I just would like to say thank you, Channel 5, and thank you to the viewers for allowing us to speak on the UReport platform and bring awareness to our community about the UReport platform. And it is very important that we have the support from our local and national media to engage young people and have them involved and to speak out in their community. And the UReport platform do just this. It allows young people to voice their opinion on matters that affect them in their communities, that are important to them in their communities, in their families, in their school. You respond to polls, you report on issues, and you speak about child rights that are affecting you in the country.
So how does it work exactly? I know you kind of summarized it, but could you unpack exactly how it works? So somebody reports something and you, kind of like Facebook, you like it?
Okay.
And give your views on it? How does it work?
Well, we know that ownership of cell phone by young people have never been so high. And it's increasing. Technology is increasing. We are living in a world of technology. And the cell phones provide a forum for us to speak to young people. And the way you can join the platform, you reporters, which are the users, can join the platform through different channels. We have Facebook, we have the WhatsApp channel, and we're currently working with our private partners, BTL and Smart, to allow for free SMS to the users. So this is very good. You know, from our private partners, both BTL and Smart, to allow for free SMS so that users can sign up, because the initiative is very important that young people could get the opportunity to amplify their voices in different areas, in education, in child protection, in violence. I mean, there are so many things happening in our community, and we're hearing from young people on Facebook, but we don't have a platform where they can speak and where we can get the data we need to implement plans and policies in Belize.
Yeah. Now, this is also being done in partnership with other agencies, including the government, and I want to talk about the involvement of the local government here in this project.
Okay. You may recall, maybe from several discussions on the same topic, that the ministry has partnered for a few years now with UNICEF to build what we call sustainable child-friendly municipalities. And that comes directly under the remit of the ministry, because the Ministry of Local Government has the responsibility to administer, if you may, the laws and the policies relating to municipalities. So that in the actual execution of the Sustainable Child-Friendly Initiative, what we found is that it was very important to get the voice of the children whom we propose to be serving. And what the UReport presented was not only an extension or an enhancement of the communication that would have been, that would best serve the sustainable initiative, but it really gave us a level of flexibility. And as I think these young ladies speak to the platform, you will see that there's a level of access that you have to young people, an ability for people to express themselves in a manner that does not, that provides some anonymity. And we felt that what that did was to give us a boost in what we felt could have been the promotion of the sustainable child-friendly initiative. Moreover, the networks that were already developed across municipalities, the child advisory bodies, we felt that that would provide a foundation that would grow the membership of the UReport, which I think you rightly pointed out earlier in our conversation, benefits from numbers. So that when the opportunity was presented to us, when the conversation was raised by UNICEF, we felt it was a natural partnership to the SCFM initiative, and we felt that we could contribute and benefit from it in that regard. Sorry, yes, my apology there. Acronyms, no? These acronyms. Yes, so really and truly, we thought it was a natural partnership to the child-friendly initiative that we had undertaken, and we felt that we could contribute and benefit from it. And there, the partnership really started.
Now, this is a very important element, I think, we don't allow for discussion about very often, which is, what are the young people thinking? What do they want? What concerns them? And the question is, what vehicles do exist? And that's where Abby can talk to us a bit more. We try to get young people on the show and talk to them about many different issues, and every time we're left with our minds blown as to the perspectives. As a young person in Belize, how much access do you have to express, whether it's just an opinion or challenges or even recommendations as to issues that you see in society?
Well, sometimes I think that it's just the mentality that we have. We as young people, the people that I come in contact with, we tell ourselves that, oh, our voice doesn't matter because we're not the right age, and no one cares about what we have to say. So usually I think that we limit ourselves so we don't go out there and try to seek those avenues to express what we feel. But I've been going to the meetings, and I've been meeting with the UReport staff, and it's been really amazing. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, this is such an amazing project. There is not 30 minutes that I don't go without looking at my phone. I always have to have my phone. It's like an addiction, and now you're telling me that I can use my addiction in a positive way. And what I enjoyed so much was that it's anonymous. And for some reason, we as young people feel so empowered when no one knows who we are. That's why everybody's always so brave on Facebook and so brave when they WhatsApp you. And now it's like, okay, they don't know who I am, and I get to answer these polls that are created by Belizean young people, and now I can address these issues, and these are issues that affect me directly, and now here I'm given the chance to answer them. So I feel that this project is amazing. I'm super excited.
So how does it work? Explain to us, because I'm hearing several things. I'm hearing polls, I'm hearing concerns, I'm hearing many different things. How does this work?
Okay, so let me explain or provide you with the journey that we have, where we have come from and where we are and where we're expecting to go. Last year, we had our first stakeholders consultation meeting, where UNICEF hired a consultant to come and to speak to many stakeholders. We had about 30 participants from different stakeholders, government ministries, NGOs, CSOs, and we had our full day consultation discussing about the UReport platform and how it will benefit Belizeans. And the consensus from the meeting was that we needed this tool in Belize. We don't have the platform available for young people to amplify their voice and using technology at the same time, which, like what Abby said, is very helpful because young people uses their cell phone every day. So from that consultation, UNICEF started moving towards initiating the UReport platform in Belize. And this year, UNICEF hired a consultant, myself, the UReport consultant, to coordinate with the different ministries, with the NGOs, to bring them on board of the UReport platform. So last month we had another consultation with stakeholders to discuss the UReport platform. And the end result from that meeting was developing a national thematic calendar of topics of priorities focused on the 5 priorities in the Belize Children Agenda, which are education, health, economic empowerment, social inclusion. And we also included emergency preparedness because emergency is important. Hurricane is coming up soon, June to November, and emergency preparedness is always important. And so we have developed concretely a thematic calendar that will allow us to shape the polls needed for us to address young people. And we are establishing a steering committee with young people to help us to shape the polls so that when we are ready to send these polls out, young people will gravitate towards these questions and will be able to answer these questions easily, freely, and knowing that it's transparent. Because the way it works, we ask the basic questions such as your gender, where you live. We want more spatial data, so we have even went down further to ask, are you living in an urban area or rural area, in case of any emergencies, so that we can cater our needs to different rural communities. And yeah, so this is where we are currently.
So it will be used primarily for polling?
It will use primarily for it will be used for polling. It will also, the platform also allows us to provide counseling, a one-on-one dialogue with young people through the different government ministries based on their specialties. It also provides information. For example, using the Zika. We can provide information to users, UReporters, on information, on any information regarding the Zika virus. So it's very important because it brings awareness. It allows our community to be educated, and it promotes well-being for our community.
Now, you spoke of having the theme set and using this platform, which I'd imagine, is it through an app, or is it simply register and you will receive SMS or WhatsApp?
Okay, so you have to register. We are using Facebook. I mentioned we're working with both Smart and BTL to allow for free SMS and WhatsApp. Currently, we're actually working with Facebook for approval so that we can use the Messenger app to do this. So we're just awaiting Facebook approval, and then we can begin to start polling questions.
Okay.
How is it consolidated though? Because if you have some SMS contributions, you have some Facebook contributions, how is it all consolidated into one comprehensive result?
So the UReport platform is the face. You have the engine, which is Rapid Pro, and this is a very dynamic tool. It allows for all the information to be aggregated by age, gender, and location, and it is formalized in a database. All the information is in a database, and the UReport consultant, being the administrator of the UReport platform, will have access to all the information that we will be using to send to the ministers in terms of the data we receive to implement programs and receive the data to implement plans.
The other thing is I keep on hearing anonymity, but as far as I'm an older guy, a young older guy, but on Facebook, for you to send any message, you have to know who the person is to send it. So how are you anonymous on Facebook in this platform? You
using the platform, when the database is when it is formulated, when the data is received, it shows your ID. However, when we transform the data, it has a specific ID, a user ID that based on numbers. It's not specific to your profile name.
Okay.
Yes.
So when it's consolidated, not when you input it.
Yes.
When it's consolidated.
Right.
So it'll go to like a mass mailing list almost.
Yes.
But on Facebook.
On Facebook.
Yeah.
When you sign up through Facebook, you will say start. You will click the button that says start, and then you will be receiving questions. Hi, welcome to UReport. Can I get your age? And that's how it starts. And the data received is aggregated and sent to the database. When the data is aggregated, it will record only a specific ID, not your user profile name.
Okay. You're saying?
So perhaps, for instance, based on the question that you were asking, from a policy standpoint, I think the level of targeting and responsiveness that the platform provides is superior to what we currently have, because
what do we have now?
Well, I'm speaking, for instance, in the framework of the Sustainable Child-Friendly Initiative. What you have are bodies of individuals, in particular the child advisory bodies, who you would speak to about issues, but that is a fairly limited group of people. What this provides is an opportunity to, for instance, given the population that is on the UReport platform, it gives us an opportunity not only to poll, which would be getting specific information, but it also allows us to have reach beyond the urban areas, because a lot of the municipalities operate within an urban space. But there's a fairly large rural component that we don't have quite the reach to access the information or the relevant issues, so that we felt that with the ability to target and aggregate data, you would be better able to at least have a better sense of what are the issues at hand. Whether or not there's need for an immediate policy response, that's a different conversation, but it allows you to access information in a more meaningful way. Yeah. That's what we felt.
What I like about it is just simply creating a culture, because in Belize, people in general, we don't normally have an input on what's going on.
Very participatory.
And to start with the new generation, because the target is really young people, to get them to actually input is a wonderful thing. But that's where I wanted to go actually, in terms of
what happens.
Most things with young people is a ploy. You know, there's a file 13 where, you know, we pretend to want to hear their issues, but we're so caught up with actually getting the work done in terms of a government policy body. That is just a gimmick. What will make this not a gimmick in terms of how sure are we that Abby's input will be registered to actually make a change?
Well, I'm smiling because the first thing I'm thinking is that I'm not certain that the input does not matter to policymakers. I would not necessarily start from that platform.
History has told us that.
But what I say is that the first and perhaps more important thing, as you had mentioned, is that access to information, so that the difficulty is that there are sometimes areas, you know, specific areas that may be subject to violence that have a different reality from, you know, other youth. So that what the platform allows is that you have information. That's why I said to you that the process of making policy, the process of being responsive, that is really an executive function that has to follow suit based on information. But it is actually more difficult to make effective policies if you don't have an information base at the start. So what we hope is that given the existing structures, that this platform will actually add a dimension that was otherwise not available. Like I said, where that results in better policy, where that results in effectiveness.
But you accept that policy is the most important part of that process. There's no sense of collecting information. Governance, one of the most important things of governance is being responsive. So it makes no sense to collect all this information from the consultant and from the youth, and then it gets clogged up with the adults and the policymakers.
I would want to go a little bit further and say the results are what matter. Because I'm saying that the intention of any policy is to achieve a certain set of results. So I'm saying that what this does for us is to increase what we believe is the level of information, the quality of information, so that hopefully the policies that are implemented achieve the results that we wish. So we feel that it's the right direction. The results, I guess, will speak in time, you know.
Well, you know what I see this as almost the modern day consultation. Yeah. You know, we used to try to get everyone in a room and get their opinions on things, and now we have them on a digital platform. And Abby looks confused, like people used to get together. Yes, before WhatsApp groups. But, so I do like that part. What Kevin is asking is a very important point. And maybe one of the areas we can look for examples is looking at the child-friendly municipalities and the role of the child advisory bodies. Tell us of some of the examples across the country where these children who get together and tell their local government, I think, and we had them on the show, we think the street lights aren't sufficient. We think there's too much drinking in public parks. We think bars shouldn't be in parks. We think that children need to have more secure environments. How much of these concerns, and those are just the ones they shared with us here, I'm sure there's more in your meetings, have actually translated into policies, changes within the individual municipalities?
Sure. Without trying to go into the specific municipalities, we've had instances where the children actually physically reshape parks to their best interest. But more importantly, I think that what has the current initiative that we're concluding is a standard of what represents a sustainable child-friendly municipality. Because whereas you will have any number of municipalities, and municipalities really are independent bodies. So where you have a number of municipalities who have different levels of interaction with their child advisory bodies, We felt the best way to try to at least apply a standard is to have what we consider a criteria for a sustainable child-friendly municipality. That is coming to a conclusion about the middle of July. So what it represents then is a clear definition of what a child-friendly municipality means and a more robust conversation as to how we achieve those objectives. Now I say that because at the end of the day, municipalities, where that objective best suits the needs of those municipalities, and we feel that the mayors have taken it very seriously. Most mayors are very involved in these initiatives. We feel that that is where the results will show itself. But in terms of institutionalizing it, yes, that is being done. In terms of the level of interaction that's happened over the past 2 years, that has been there. How it translates into better lives for children is something that time will tell, I believe.
Yeah, yeah. Now, I have a flip question, and you know, I might really show that I'm not really considered a young person anymore. But there is a perception that young people just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that simple. It's more important to keep up with the Kardashians than to keep up with national issues. And my question is, what type of research has been done to show that once you open up this platform, that young people will participate and that they will participate honestly and not just send in some silly comment because it's funny? And we can have both the young person and whoever else chime in on that. You want to go first?
Oh, okay. The whole perception of young people don't care, I can see where that's coming from, because it's true. A lot of young people don't think that it matters, and that's where the whole downfall of this is. But really, I think that it's because sometimes these national issues aren't presented to us in an appealing manner, and really, that's how we are. We want something fun, we want it to grab our attention. So when we go on the news and we see maybe 2 hours worth of meetings just droning on, we won't sit down and hear and listen. But now if we're sitting down and there's a newspaper with like a really big headline, oh, did you hear about this? And you're like, oh, what's going on? You flip the pages, you want to know what's happening. And so we do care. It's just that sometimes it's not presented to us in the best manner. And I think that's our fault for not wanting to get that information ourselves. That is definitely on the youth part. We are a bit lazy on getting these information to ourselves.
Sure, you want to see that?
But you know, being honest about my perception at least. But yeah, that's how I feel.
So it's more about how palatable the information is to you.
Yeah, definitely.
And before you answer, I was doing a comparison, because this is not a new concept under the sun. There are UReports in different countries. And if you look at Jamaica, for example, of a population of over 2 million, or whatever it is, my Jamaican friends will kill me. But the UReport has only maybe 1,200 participants. Now, Belize, proportionate, let's say that, you know, proportionately, they have a 2 or 3 million population, and they have 1,000 something. Proportionately for Belize, who only has 200,000, we're probably looking at maybe what, proportionately, significantly less, maybe 400 or 500 young people
Signing up to the UReport.
signing up to the report. If we use Jamaica as any sort of comparison, will that be sufficient to drive what they want to attract from the platform?
I do believe that we will have more than 500 UReporters. Our main goal is to have young people on our steering committee. We are establishing the steering committee, and the importance of having young people on board, especially in the steering committee, and allowing them to speak out and allowing them to make decisions. We know that when young people start making decisions, they start to start to feel a sense of responsibility, and they take ownership of the program. And so this is in UNICEF effort that we are including young people to be on board, and asking and requesting the support of the media, of the ministries, of CSOs out there to help share the information, to help bring young people together on board to learn about the UReport platform and to know the importance of the UReport platform in our country. So with the assistance of everyone, parents, teachers, schools, ministers, young people, of course, the media, we will be able to reach and target the young people as the platform.
Yeah. So what you're saying is the young people will help you shape the direction as to how to get other young people involved. Abby, do you think young people will want to sign up for this? You've spoken to your friends, even those who don't have the interests that you do?
Yes, I have. And at first they're like, oh, but I don't think this is gonna work. There's a lot of doubt and a lot of misconception. And I'm like, no, try it. You gotta, like, you know, get in it to know what it's about. And they're like, well, you know, I think you're right. And I'm like, now just imagine that they bring up some controversial issue. And I know that at the meeting we had several youth there, and the whole thematic calendar was us consulting with them, us saying this. I know that I worked personally on a poll, like an entire poll of questions. And these were questions that I know my friends would find interesting. These are questions that we know would start a conversation.
Yeah.
Because it is the media, and if you put up a really cool Facebook status, you obviously get a lot of comments. And this is how it's going to be working.
And that's part of my thinking. I know for sure, not only young people, people in general like things that are easy. And if I already put up a Facebook post complaining about the price of gas, I don't know anything, I don't know what young people are talking about right now. But then I have to go again and then put it on this platform. Isn't it a bit duplicitous?
Using the platform will allow us to get the data we need.
Yes.
And I speak about the polls and data, but we also want to start a conversation with our stakeholders. We want to engage them, and we want them to take action. And like you mentioned, there are a lot of things happening, and you know, there's nothing that has been done about it. But we want to see a change in Belize, and we want to empower young people to start speaking up. Many a times, the most vulnerable and deprived children are not heard, and this is the avenue for them to be heard.
I understand, but that's from the standpoint of what you want to extract from them. I'm talking about the flip side and how easy or difficult it is to be motivated to use the platform. You understand? Because, like I said, I already told you what I felt about children being kidnapped in Cayo. And I already put it on my Facebook page. I already got 100 likes. Why do I go again? And what motivates me to go again? What educates me to go again? Because from what I'm hearing from the young lady, it takes a bit of explaining. There's a bit of campaigning, a bit of PR to get people engaged in this process to see the benefits. So how do I compete against the fact that I've already posted about whatever issue, and then I need to go and post again?
I don't think you're understanding the platform right. Yeah, I think
No,
it's not a repost.
Yeah.
Well,
it's a response.
Okay, I kind of see where you're going with this whole, okay, I already posted my Facebook status.
Yes.
Why would I go and do this poll?
Correct.
Well, the way I see it is that no one's going to pay, and like your Facebook status isn't going to change anything. That's just your status, your opinion, that's it. Meanwhile, if you answer the polls, you and 30 other people can make that change.
It's actually responding to questions. You know, if you make them like BuzzFeed quizzes, people will do them all day.
Definitely.
You know, this is so important, and I do want to say, you know, congratulations to the people who put it together or decided to implement it in Belize.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the statistics in other countries where you've been able to reach people, or the UReport has been used in emergencies, situations, in education about violence in schools. And so this means that we will really be able to get targeted information from our youths in Belize, which, even if it's 500, Kevin, it's 500 more than we had before.
That's a lot.
So I think that is absolutely paramount. But I really do hope that there is a proper mechanism in place, because what happens is there is a lot of cynicism. You know, you didn't use that word, but that's what I'm understanding. Oh, nothing's going to happen, nothing's going to change. And what I really hope happens is that there's a proper structure in place where you don't do polls every day and then nothing changes. Like, there has to be something that translates even into a minister saying, I looked at the recent UReport and this
Yes.
is what young people, at least an acknowledgement of the voice, if not an intention to do something about it. Because I wouldn't want our young people to feel any more cynical about having progress in our country than what already exists. So I think that perhaps that's one area that maybe you have it fleshed out and we just haven't tapped into that as yet. So I'm really interested in finding out the themes that you guys have decided on. Maybe then people will want to jump on board even more.
So well, because this is hurricane season, we had the first theme for emergency preparedness. In June we have Father's Day, and in September we have your identity and about being a Belizean. And these themes were selected by our stakeholders. And there are many more themes, but I can't name all because there's so much. But for September, it has popped out for me because of the whole idea of your identity in Belize and being a Belizean and what does it mean for you to be a Belizean. So that really popped out for me. We have, in terms of advocacy and our campaign, we are planning to do an ad and working with the youth department to produce an ad. We're also planning to do a competition so that young people can create a jingle about why it is important for Belizeans to be a UReporter, hearing it from their own voices and in their own language, in their own native language. So you can be Garifuna, Mayan, whatever language they feel comfortable in, because we want to spread the word and we want them to be included in the UReport platform. We also created our UReport Belize Facebook page. It's really new, but we're starting up, and so this is this is just a road. We're just moving.
It's not going to be like taking an exam, right? I mean, I can imagine like somebody saying, "Oh, great, they'll ask me questions about." Something so complicated. That I would really hope the polls are meant to be fun as well, but still extracting important information.
Like I mentioned, I was at the last meeting and I actually helped compile a poll. And the way we did it, we split up into different tables and we had a mix of younger, older. We had a very diverse bunch of people working on these polls. And what I realized was that it's so easy. These are not open-ended questions. These aren't something you have to talk about. You don't have to type out what you feel. It's click this, click yes, click no. Do you think so? Maybe. You're not sure. So it's like, okay, I have the option to pick. And if I don't know, there's also that option to pick. And so it's very easy. It's not like taking an exam, probably 10 minutes and you're over with it. And it's like, oh, wow, that wasn't so bad. Oh, I can do this again.
Is there a feedback option too, that maybe I had something extra I wanted to say?
For unsolicited response, there is it goes to a certain area, and then we can look back into it and see, okay, this person needed this help or this information, and then we can respond to that person separately.
Excellent.
Yes.
Is it? I'm hearing the thematic part of it, but is it a straight-jacketed adult a process? I ask this because I know in the past we've had issues. I can speak of my experience with the youth report, the youth report, and compiling that. And I could remember back in 2004, young people saying, "This just sounds like old people trying to direct us young people as to what they want to hear, as opposed to us driving it." How do young people drive this process, as opposed to just being passengers in it and answering questions that the steering committee put together?
Remember, the steering committee is young people.
Yes,
and young people are so they're guiding and shaping everything.
I understand, but what I don't understand is coming out of that, how some of these, I didn't hear, maybe I'm off tempo, but some of the issues that I heard come up aren't necessarily issues that I have heard my nieces and nephews speak about. Father's Day, if I put them together in a room for 2 hours, none of them are going to speak about Father's Day. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. And so these still sound like very mature topics. And I know that policymakers do want to get some of the more serious AIDS, HIV, AIDS, discrimination, and those things. But that might not be what young people are speaking about. And young people might feel that that's what you want to hear. Young people are very intelligent. When they sit in a room with people who are policymakers and mature, they realize you guys don't want to hear about the Kardashians. from sitting down with Marlene and Mr. Belize, they want to hear something sensible, and so they turn themselves into a dysfunctional adult. And when I say dysfunctional, because that's not their area of strength. How do we get the topics to be young, popular, and attractive to young people? Things that they want to hear about, things that they want to report on, and not just necessarily what they feel needs to come from a steering committee when they're looking at the minister in his eye. I can't tell them about Brazil's game. I don't want to do a poll on that. I want to do a poll on something that's going to impress an adult. Do you understand my question?
Fully.
Yeah, but like I said, I was at the meetings, and the adults, they were just there to kind of see, to make sure that everything was working properly. But really, some of the issues were just our ideas. The CAB was there, the Child Advisory Board, and so in one of my groups, I had a 13-year-old talking about bullying. And I know that's an issue that's so overused and overworked, but really, she wanted to take it from a media standpoint. Mm-hmm. How is the media allowing us to bully other people? There's not a policy in Belize saying that you can't go and blast someone. There's not a policy protecting me from my photos being posted, you know? And so then those are issues that are steered and guided by young people. And so I think that you're just kind of missing that we are there sitting at the table. We are sitting there and we are coming up with these ideas.
And you care about Father's Day. If you've spoken to 24-year-old males, maybe that's what we haven't said.
They
what is
don't
the age
care
group?
about, I could put my
Who
career
spoke
on
more
that.
about Father's Day than Kevin?
Me. Because I'm 40.
But let me go back to a question. We didn't clarify the age group, and maybe that's why, because you're not just looking at 13-year-olds, you're looking up within the age of youths, right?
Right.
So tell us the age group that you have to be to participate.
Okay, so you to be a UReporter, you have to be 13 years and older. Mm-hmm. So we're targeting 13 to 25 years old,
okay,
not excluding anyone from the UReport platform or to become a user, because of course everyone's voice matters, but we're targeting youth, we're targeting the most vulnerable and deprived children, yeah, to understand and to understand their behavior and their attitudes in different areas.
Okay. And how do people sign up for the UReport as we close off the session? Oh, sorry.
Thanks. I just wanted to perhaps share in response to a number of the things that you were saying, that the thing is about what we see in the UReport is a platform, a tool, mm-hmm, that provides unfiltered access to the sentiments that exist at various levels within the community. So that it's not really about being judgmental, it's about listening. And so whether or not we believe the information is important or whether we believe it's what we want to hear is not relevant. We're hearing what we're hearing, and that is what we think the power of a tool is. And we strongly feel that the municipality should embrace it in that same regard, because we're listening. So it's not about whether what you're saying is important to us or not important to us. It's about listening, and that is the real power of the UReport platform, and we trust and we hope that the steering committee will be able to properly connect with the issues at hand, and that what we will be getting, because we're not controlling it, what we will be getting maybe is something that we completely did not think of. Yeah. And really, the experience at the CAB has been that, quite frankly, a lot of the topics that are raised and a lot of the potential solutions that are tabled are different than what myself or any of my technical team may be thinking, but we believe that is the power of the UReport. So we strongly encourage users to engage it in that manner.
And so how do we sign up?
In a couple of weeks, we will be able to use the Facebook Messenger app to sign up. But for now, you can visit our UReport Belize Facebook page, and we are always posting stuff, and we will inform our Belizeans when the UReport platform will be up.
So for now, you follow so that you can know exactly when you will start to participate in the polling. Thank you so much for being here, and best of luck. And if you're between 13 and 25, you definitely want to sign up so that you can have your voice heard as well. Thank you. We're going to go ahead and take a break. When we come back, we'll be joined by representatives of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs to talk about SICA and the presidency that we'll be accepting at the end of the month. So stay tuned.